Give me Ezekiel 3. One thing about the so-called white man, he loves and understands how to work collectively. They practice group economics, which is something our scattered people don't do. Give me that in Ezekiel 3:11.
Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 11. And go, get thee to them of the captivity.
The captivity, it says go, get thee to them of the captivity. Did it say go to all nations?
Get thee to them of the captivity.
The captivity is our people who have been scattered, dispersed, the diaspora as it's called today, throughout all these countries. Go ahead.
Unto the children of thy people.
And if you were confused to say, well, everybody, because you know some of our people, everybody went into slavery at one time, it clarified itself by saying unto the children of your people. Go ahead.
And speak unto them and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
So we are commanded to go into the children of the captivity, the children of our people. And we have not learned what other nations have learned. And what I mean by that is working collectively. We have not learned to practice group economics. We've been taught, the children of the slave trade have been taught to become an individual. That's what we've been taught.
Hey, group economics is what we were talking about earlier. For all our people to boycott the NFL would be a perfect example of group economics.
That's right. Exactly. Yep, we've been taught to be individual. An individual, let me tell you, an individual only has 3 friends. You can count them. Me, myself, and I. That's their friends. That's it, because we've been taught to think like that. We're not taught to work well or play well together. He or she is to be an individual. It means you are self-centered. And you can be either male or female. You got women like that too. It's all about me. And they're the ones that, am I pretty? Do I look good? They're the ones that stand in the mirror for 3 hours trying to look at them. They're self-centered.
You know what's amazing about that? The self-centered, because self-centered really means that Esau's on the brain.
Right.
Because they're following somebody. And Esau has set up headquarters inside their heads and told them that's your own opinion.
There you go.
Like Esau said on the television program, you have no opinion. If your television breaks down, you have no opinion. Everybody get their opinion from TV, radio, magazines. That's where our opinions are formed. You run around talking about you're an individual. Your brain is television.
Right. You know how Esau nurtures that individualist thought, and he does it through social media. You get that self-centered person, they'll be on Facebook, and they're comfortable because it says 10,000 friends. Let me tell you something. You got 10,000 friends, allegedly. Those are not 10,000 friends. None of them know you. Where's the camera? None of them know you. They don't know you. Those are 10,000 clicks. Those are not friends. But the individual like goes, look at all my friends. They love me. No, they don't know you. So Esau nurtures that individualist thought. You do you, okay, and you'll be all good. Give me Leviticus 19.
But when they chased that brother out the bar, nobody was thinking individual. They collectively killed him.
Exactly. Y'all see how Esau roll? They work collectively. If they're going to give you a beat down, they're going to do it as a group. That's how they do it. Okay.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
So the individual doesn't understand this law right here about love your neighbor as you love yourself. Read that.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
That's saying the same wording as Ezekiel 3:11 about go get thee to them of the captivity of the children of your people. Now it says, read that again, Officer Leon.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Because our people get stupid. Well, who's my neighbor? The white man, my neighbor. Guess what? That brother, Bakari Henderson, thought the white man in Greece was his neighbor. And look what happened. A lot of our people make that fatal mistake, that stupid mistake. Read it again.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. In the New Testament, That's also called charity. Give me that. 1 Corinthians 13:4. If you understand or understood love your neighbor as you love yourself, you'd understand charity. But the individual does not. Let's see what the individual does. Watch this. 1 Corinthians 13. What verse was that I said?
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. Charity suffereth long.
If you have charity, if you love your neighbor, it says charity suffereth long. Go ahead.
And is kind.
And charity is kind. You will find an individual, male, whether male or female, they don't have these attributes. Go ahead.
Charity envieth not.
If you have the spirit of charity, love your neighbor as you love yourself, you will not envy your brother. You will not envy your sister. But that individual will envy. Read.
Charity vaunteth not itself.
Go ahead.
Is not puffed up.
But the individual, guess what? He or she is puffed up. He or she vaunteth themselves, meaning I'm better than you. That's the mindset of an individual. Being in these scriptures, Christ has taught us, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Have charity one with another. Give me the precept for those things in Galatians 5:26. These negative spirits that reside on us when we have that individualist mentality. Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 26. Let us not be desirous of vain glory.
Remember it said charity vaunteth not itself. Now, Paul is getting on the people about what? Read it again.
Let us not be desirous of vain glory.
Vainglory. That's a brother or sister who does not understand charity. A brother or sister who does not love his neighbor as he loves himself. Go ahead.
Provoking one another, envying one another.
Provoking one another, envying one another. That's that individualist mindset. That type of mindset cannot work well. That's why we cannot work collectively as a group, as a nation, as a people. Was that the whole verse?
Yes, sir.
Give me Philippians 2 and 3. These individuals, and when they can sing, you know the first lyrics that come out their mouth. You know that song when you practice to warm your voice up? Me, 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 me. That's the individual. They only care about themselves. They don't care about you. Read that.
The book of Philippians chapter 2 verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife.
Let nothing be done through strife.
Or vainglory.
Or vain glory. Look at me. Go ahead.
But in lowliness of mind.
But on the contrary, now he's going to teach us about charity, loving your neighbor. But in lowliness of mind, watch this.
Let each esteem other better than themselves.
That's something blacks and Latinos we don't know how to do. Being able to see the good in another brother and another sister, the good qualities they got, good qualities that you might not have, good qualities you might want or need to learn. You can only learn if you love your neighbor. You can't learn that from that brother or sister. Hating them, envying them is not going to work. Watch this. Give me Sirach 33:17.
You know what's amazing about that, Bishop? The enemy must know how powerful that law is. The Most High said, love thy neighbor, which translates into love your people as you love yourself. If you just think about the billions of ways, I can't think of a number, the many vast ways on just the application of that and how far it will go in alleviating damn near all our problems. Just think about how far that can go. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Then when we see each other into wrong, we correct them with the scriptures and continue that love for our brothers and love for our sisters as we love ourselves. Esau knows that if we learn this here, it's going to go against everything that he tried to teach us. He tried to teach us to hate one another, keep us separated. This me, myself, and I garbage came from him. Keep us in that divided state, that mindset, and we will never get out of this thing. That's the reason why Christ talked about that law so much. That law means so much if you really think about it. I ain't going to talk no more.
Christ said that is the second
greatest. That's exactly
commandment.
what I'm talking about. Just look at that law itself. Just sit while you in your spare time. Just think about the many ways that this right here could just alleviate all of the problems that you see around you. Just in your own time, think about it when you're home. when you're with your family? Because I'm thinking about that thing now.
Hey,
Give it some real thought.
love your neighbor as you love yourself. It would put an end to black on black crime. It would put an end to dysfunctional families.
Exactly.
Child
That's what I'm
abuse,
talking about. Think on it.
divorce.
Look at that.
It
Just
would
look
end
at it like that.
just those things. You could just throw it in the air.
Exactly. Because it has an exponential type of healing. You can't even count the ways on how far this law can go. Because it'll begin as you begin to practice it twofold, it'll start just turning over all over. You'll be surprised just the application of that alone.
Love your neighbor as you love yourself would end fornication. It would end whoremongering. Because you'll meet a woman, and by you understanding that law, you'll know I'm not gonna have sex with her, although she may want to. No, because that's my neighbor. And I know I don't want to marry her. And vice versa. She'll have the mindset too. Oh, that's a low level. That's a low level. So, let me show you all about charity. Let me show you the mindset of a brother or sister who has charity, who loves their neighbor as they love themselves. Read that.
Ecclesiasticus, or in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 17. Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
You see what charity does? You see what loving your neighbor as you love yourself? When you study the scriptures, this is just one level. You study the scriptures, you realize you're not just learning for yourself. You're learning for the brothers, the millions of Israelites who have never heard this truth. That's where your mindset is. But the individual will say, I'm going to learn this, and then I'm going to leave and do my own thing. So I can big myself up, and everybody can say, look at me. Look at me. I got mine. Right. You get yours. That's what they do. And we've had many examples of that. We just had that example in St. Louis. We had that example in Florida, Miami, Florida. The brother that left from here. Remember the Ephraimite brother? Yeah, went out there on a sneak tip to secretly organize all the Ephraimites under him. Talking about, I've been in this truth longer than Bishop Kenai, so I should be the elder. Now the whole thing falling apart. So his goal, his reasoning was never righteousness. Read it again. This was not his reasoning.
Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
That's what charity does, which goes back to Philippians 2 and 3, where it said, let nothing be done through strife or what?
Vainglory.
Vainglory. So that's what some brothers, they come in, I'm only going to learn this so I can go and do my own thing. They're not interested in nation building. They're interested in self-glorification. That's their mindset. That's their mentality. We work for a cause, brothers, whereas others work for applause. They want to hear, give me, hey, you got that hand clap thing for me? Yeah. Here we go, watch it.
Can you dig it?
So that's the self-centered brother or sister. That's the individualist mindset. That's how they think. That's how they get down. The individual has no concept at all of nation building. The individual is and they're a bag of emotions. Give me that in Jude. Who's reading for me? Jude 19. So emotional. And you know you're emotional when your emotions supersede the scriptures. Meaning, I don't care what that. I know it says Matthew 18. Love if you got aught with your brother, you go. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to bring my grievance, which I have against Yahweh, to Deacon Malachi and complain about Yahweh. Malachi should, hey, go talk to Yahweh. That's the response. Not, oh yeah, brother, really? Wow, I never did like that, brother. Yeah. Read that. Jude verse 19.
Jude 19, thank you. These be they who separate themselves.
So when you got these brothers and or sisters with who want to separate themselves, go ahead.
Sensual.
That word sensual breaks down to emotional. Oh, my feelings. I'm all up in my feelings. Go ahead.
Having not the Spirit.
You don't have the Spirit of God on you in your feelings. Everything, but I feel this, and I feel it should be like this. I feel. Oh, shut the hell up. Was that it?
That's it, sir.
So, from there, a bag of emotions. His or her emotions supersede the scriptures. You'll say, hey, the scriptures say A, B, and C. Apply that, brother. Apply that, sister. And you'll have to tell him or her over and over, because they come back to you with the same complaint. After a while, you got to tell them, shut the hell up. I don't want to hear this no more. I'm giving you the scriptures. This is how you deal with the matter. Okay? Give me 1 Corinthians 12. And believe it or not, he or she can often quote and find scriptures at the drop of a dime. Precept. But they won't apply nothing. N-U-F-F-I-N. I made a word up. Nothing. You know what it is. I'm black, damn it. I'll make a word up. So they won't apply nothing that the Bible says. They're so emotional. So emotional.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word